Matthew 28:18 through 20. Then Jesus came to them and said, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore, go and make disciples of the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey in everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always, and to the very end of the age."
Good morning. As many of you know, I am Madison Schultis. And as Allie kind of started today, I'm kind of just here to tell you all about the mission trips that I've been on and why I go. Many of you know me as you've seen me grow up here in this church. And so these mission trips have been a very big part in my life. So I'm going to try to do my own slides. Okay, so I realized when I was sitting down at the pew that I've spoken in front of this church for the past 3 consecutive Februaries. Aren't you all the most lucky people in the world? And before I really get into talking about my mission trips and where I've gone and my family has gone on, I really want to dig into the Bible and how it calls us to go into missions and how it calls us to go out and serve. So if you want to jot these Bible verses down, you're more than welcome to. And if you want them, I can see you after service and I can definitely give them to you then too. But they will definitely be up on the screen because I want you guys to be able to follow along with me. So, in Mark 10:45, it says, "For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." Mark 10:45. I first started going on mission trips the summer after my 7th grade year. This trip was to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Since I was younger, the middle school group went to do the VBS side, and the high school group went and built, I think, like a patio. I'm not too sure because, like I said, I didn't go on that side. One of the big things I took away from this trip was not only not showering for several consecutive days, but it was also the relationships that you build within the group. And that group was phenomenal. We went with a different church. Not different, we went with another church here in Auburn. And so we went to school with a lot of these students, but we didn't go to church with them every Sunday. And so it was nice to be able to build those relationships. And so then after that trip, I decided I was going to go every year. And so then that next trip was to Los Angeles, California. That trip was the pinnacle of my relationship with God. If you heard last year when I spoke, I really talked about this trip and how this trip really helped me figure out what my purpose here on earth is from God. And that purpose was to be a teacher, is to work with children. I know that's a big shock to a lot of you. A lot of you knew that before I did, but we work towards it, and God reveals it in his own time. Working on Skid Row and building community gardens that week taught me that our godly mission is to serve others, and I had a great pull on, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. You hear that people go on these missions, and they go across the ocean, and they serve for months at a time. I go to Huntington University, and a lot of students do that. It's called their prime. It's like their student teaching for ministry. But I don't feel called to do that kind of extravagant missions. My missions is going for a week. While in LA, we had a night where we washed each other's feet. While preparing for this message, I came across John 13:14-15, which states, "Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you should also wash one another's feet. I have set an example that you should do as I did for you. Very truly I tell you, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him." Another reason we go out is because Jesus was such a great teacher. If I've learned anything this past couple semesters of learning how to be a teacher and effective and a great teacher, it is that you simply have to model for your students. I'm sure many educators in this room know exactly what I'm talking about. You have to show your students what you want from them so that way they can then even your teacher pleasers. We all have them. I'm a teacher pleaser. They want to be like you. And that is exactly what Jesus does. And that is exactly what this verse says. He modeled for us, so we can go out and do as he did. He does that several times throughout the Bible. Panajachel, Guatemala was the next trip. This trip was absolutely amazing, mainly because this was also one of the first out-of-country trips that I remember. We went to Mexico when I was in about 3rd grade, and then we also went to Canada for the Niagara Falls. So if you want to count that as going out of the country, you can, but, I don't know. But so this project that we worked on was La Casa del Maestros, which is the house for the teachers. And like I said, this kind of revolving around teachers is a big thing for me. And so being able to go and see how the Guatemalan government doesn't really prioritize education, and how we were there as a service project to build a house for the teachers, to house school supplies, to have meetings, to just have a place to just breathe after a long day, was amazing, because I didn't realize how much I take it for granted, or that I can see it being taken for granted here in the States. During this trip, I was also able to get close with many adults in our church, like Bob and Bonnie Collins, Mary and Cody, and Beth East and Tammy, and it was just absolutely amazing. This is just some more fun photos, but I really did enjoy this trip. The next trip was to Jackson, Kentucky, where we were renovating homes, refurbishing homes, with putting siding up, painting, putting up railings, side railings, stair railings, ripping out concreted in stair railings. Thank you, Cody. My favorite part was using Fez, which was a circle saw that Cody taught me how to use correctly, so I was safe in doing so. I promise I was safe, guys. This trip was amazing because we all worked together as a team. And then the house next door to us was also getting worked on, and this group was from Wisconsin. And so he had a cheese, this is very, very cemented in my brain, but he had a cheese stick, and we were like, why didn't you eat that when it was cold from lunch? And he's like, because if it stays in my pocket, then it's a cheese curd at the end of the day. So if you remember anything, you can make cheese curds all by yourself, guys. You don't have to go buy them. But like I said, it's the small things like building the relationships within the trips, just like this one, because when else am I going to meet some random people from Wisconsin like that and be able to get close like that with them? The youth group's next trips were to South Carolina and to Fairbanks, Alaska. Sadly, I was not on these trips, but the stories from these trips were great. My mom, my sister went, and so I was able to hear about them from them. And many of you have also heard these stories about the trips. And I encourage you to go ask about the trips. Oh, there's one more picture from Kentucky. Sorry, guys. But I encourage you to go ask them about these trips too, because I can only give you one side of these mission trips. And so if you ask people who have gone on these mission trips, they'll be able to give you so much more details about everything that they've gone on and their side, and to know how God has worked in their lives. My next mission trip post-COVID-19 was to Highgate, Jamaica, which was this past summer. Many of you know about this trip. This trip was very special to me, as this was the first trip without my mom going. And I didn't have anybody to hold my passport for me or hold my money. So that's always a bonus, having my mom go on these mission trips. But in all seriousness, my mom is the mom on the trips, and it's nice having my own mom, especially when all the other youth don't have their moms on the trip. She also is able to act as their mom for that week, which is so nice to have. Jamaica was a place where I could see the education system in a different country. Even though they speak their own Jamaican tongue, they are still taught in English. So it was really nice to be able to witness that and to understand what they were being taught. And a lot of the curriculum is the same, which I didn't actually learn a lot about that until this semester. So that was pretty amazing to get like a foreshadow of what I was going to be learning. The service project we did was painting and updating the 4-H house to host judging and meetings, which also hit close to home because I did 4-H for 8 years. And I don't know why it didn't strike me that 4-H is a worldwide organization, not just an organization here in the United States, but being able to see that in a different country was very amazing. And since I was going for education side, so it was kind of like an internship, mission trip, kind of a trip down to Jamaica through Huntington University. And so this picture is probably one of the funniest ones because I'm teaching them how to make a cootie catcher. But they asked me to teach them how to make this by, can you teach me what the white Americans taught last time? And I'm like, I have no idea what they taught you last time. What did they teach you last time? And then they start doing the motions with their hands. I'm like, oh, okay. And so this was during their recess that we were able to make some cootie catchers. The most recent youth mission trip that I went on here with the church was to Peru. While we were in Peru, we went out evangelizing and hearing people from the community's relationship with God and spreading the love and goodness of God to the children through VBS and also through bringing blessing baskets to the houses that we visited. The church that we were going with or that we were partnering with, we also sanded and painted and put a roof on like Allie had told us, which was all because there was a large group of us. It went by very, very quickly. It took us an afternoon. But it was, like I said, it's all in the sweat and I'm tired, I don't want to be here anymore. That is when you build the most important relationships on these mission trips. This trip was a struggle for me because I struggled to see God working while I was in the trip itself. Normally, like I said, like LA, I saw him working because I just felt at peace and know that God has a purpose for me. And so I struggled with Peru. Not a lot of people knew that. And it wasn't until I got home and I was looking through photos and videos, and I wish I would have put this video in, but my mom was telling me about how the video on the last day, the kiddos were doing my one-arm motions. And I can only do half a rainbow or just overdo it with my right arm. And seeing the kids doing the one-arm motions honestly brought me to tears. It showed that even when I think I'm not connecting or I'm not building with these students or the people on the trip, I'm not connecting or God's not working, He really is, and He's going to show it to you in one way or another and how you need to see it. It wasn't until I needed to see it through the kids doing the motions that, oh yeah, God was working. These kids were picking it up from these white American young adults who didn't know a lick of Spanish, tell them about how amazing and how much God loves them. Because, let me tell you, it was a rough several weeks learning Spanish before going on this trip. Yo Tengo Gozo, stuck in my brain for forever. Thank you, Allie. Thank you. This upcoming trip is to Hawaii, like many of you know. A large group of us are going, and we are very, very, very excited. These mission trips have found a way for us to fulfill God's greatest commandment, to go out and make disciples, which Izzy was so kind to share, wherever she went, so kind to share with us today from Matthew 28:18-20. It was so important in my growing up to go out into the world for these trips because it's not the ideal vacation spot. Well, okay, maybe it kind of is. Hawaii? Really? Yes, they are beautiful places, but as the motto goes, you have to work hard to play hard, and that is exactly what we're doing. We are going out, we're demonstrating God's unconditional love. We're going out and seeing some really horrible things. In LA, I saw Skid Row. Why would a 9th grader see Skid Row outside of a mission trip? And so then after we go through and we do this, then we also get to bask in God's beautiful creation and be in, go hiking or in LA, go see the Hollywood sign. When else are you going to be able to do that? Yes. So we are going to these places and seeing some dark things, and we may not be seeing that here living in Indiana. We are very fortunate with who our families are and where we come from and where we live here in Northeast Indiana. Those serving on Wednesday nights see some pretty dark scenarios themselves every single week. We are going out of our comfort zone and being a minority where we're going most of the time because we have the latest iPhone. We have the tablets. We have the computers. We have all these things. We have a roof over our head, and we have 3 meals a day. So that is why we're going also. Because it's very important for us to be cultured. Is that the right word? I don't know. On how to, just be a person in general. In Proverbs 19, it says, "Whoever is kind to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will reward them for what they have done." You might think that is all nice, Madison, but I cannot go on a mission trip. Work, family, life, I can't take a week off of work or school or whatever. Well, that's okay, because I'm also here to tell you about the several other opportunities that you have to still serve and be God's hands and feet in this very community. So, in Luke 10:2, it says, "He told them, 'The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into his harvest field.'" Our church's opportunities are endless, and so I put together a small list of things that you can be doing to be involved here at the church. Faith in Action Sunday, that's going out and serving our community in the most mission trip-esque wise you can. Wednesday night meals, rice packing, which you still can sign up today, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. United Way, DeKalb County Day of Caring, Master Card Maker Group, Men's Wednesday Morning, Congregational Care Team, Fine Arts Camp, which you also can sign up to help, Party in the Parking Lot, which will be coming up here soon too. So if you want to get involved, contact Tammy Althouse, Pastor Rob, or Pastor Nikki, and they'll be able to help get you involved. If none of this is in your wheelhouse, that is okay. I do not want anybody to come from today thinking the only way that you can serve is through going out on these big, expensive mission trips or doing one of these service opportunities through the church. Peter writes about what it looks like living for God and how that looks. 1 Peter 4:10-11 states, "Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. If anyone speaks, they should do so as one who speaks the very words of God. If anyone serves, they should do so with the strength God provides, so that in all things God may be praised through Jesus Christ. To him be the glory and the power forever and ever. Amen." So, even if you just get up every single morning and you do your best and you give your God-given talents to the world, you are serving God and your community. That is what I want you to pull from this, is that we all serve every single day. As long as we're serving our God, we are serving the community as well. Standing in front of you, I'm going to give one, maybe two more ways that you can be involved and serve your community. You can pray for those going on the trips or Faith in Action or any of these missions right here. If you feel called to do more than prayer, you can always donate. There's always the opportunity to donate monetarily. Those who help financially help others go and experience God's love by being his hands and feet. Romans 10:14-17 says, "How then can they call on the one they have not believed in? And how can they believe in the one whom they have not heard? And how can they hear without someone preaching to them? And how can anyone preach unless they are sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. But not all the Israelites accepted the good news. For Isaiah says, 'Lord, who has believed our message?' Consequently, faith comes from hearing the message, and the message is heard through the word about Christ." While discussing giving monetary donations, we launched our annual Give a Little, Give a Lot fundraiser today. If you feel so led to, grab 1 or 5 envelopes to help send this group to Hawaii this summer. We would feel so grateful. But if Give a Little, Give a Lot is not in your wheelhouse, we have so many other fundraiser opportunities. I hope you all liked going out to eat, because we're going to ask you to go out quite a bit this summer. Those that remember flocking, get your list ready, because it might be making a comeback. But before you guys kick me off the stage, I would like to ask everybody that is going to Hawaii that is here today to please join me up here on stage. Yes. those that couldn't hear Allie, there's quite a few people that are not here today. Here, line this way, or like around, yeah, spread out. So we're gonna pass the microphone down, and we're just gonna say like our name, and if you're a youth, like how old you are that's going, and if Allie has something else. I think Natalie is also going to share a little bit with you as well on why she is going.
Yeah, so you're gonna share your name, how old you are, and then if you have been on trips in the past, I just want like a brief, this is why I've gone on trips, or this is what I've gotten out of trips. And if you haven't been on trips in the past, I just want you to share that this is your first mission trip with our church, okay?
I feel like I was tricked. My name is Mary Eister. I've been on a couple mission trips, and the reward, I can't begin to tell you how fortunate I've been to be able to go alongside my husband and some of the students here in line on these trips. What I see God doing in the students, what I see God doing with each other and the people that we go to help, the relationships I've made, just being able to come to people when they need us most is very humbling, and it's just a joy to be able to serve people.
My name is David Sloan. I am 22 years old, and last year I got the opportunity to go on the mission trip to Peru. It was the first mission trip I'd ever been on, and it was the most humbling experience I've ever witnessed or even imagined. And it was amazing to see myself grow and to build a relationship with God and all the people that were in the group with me. I had some friends that I knew prior to the trip, and I was able to make many more while I was there.
My name is Caitlin Wiesner. I'm also 22 years old, and this is my first mission trip ever.
My name is Callie, and I'm 14, and I went on the Wisconsin mission trip last fall, and it was just really good to see how just a little bit of help can just impact people so much, and you were just really able to see like God's love like spread throughout.
Is my mic on still? Yes, okay. I'm Madison, I'm 21, and you all just heard every reason why I'm going.
Hi, I'm Riley. I'm 20. I've been on most of the mission trips that Madison talked about, so just being able to, Madison and I growing up together, going on mission trips, seeing each other grow in our faith is, one of the greatest things ever, and just, finding our purpose that God has given us and just, helping people is the reason I love to go, and just being around people and, feeling the joy that you get from, being there for people and just feeling like you have a purpose.
I'm Mallory. I am 18, and this is my first mission trip.
I'm Sophie. I'm 16, and this is also my first mission trip.
I'm Natalie. I'm 18, and I love to go on mission trips because I like to go and see how everyone sees God and worships Him, and it's completely different at every single place that we go.
And why did you want to go to Hawaii, Natalie?
I wanted to go to Hawaii because I saw that there was fires, and I just felt like we've never done any disaster relief stuff, so I wanted to experience that.
My name is Kristen, and I am, as Madison said, the missions mom. So I just really enjoy going on the mission trips with the youth. It is really just a great experience. So y'all should go on with the trips with the kids because it's just great. You'll have a blast.
Hi, I'm Leslie, and Rob and I take turns taking our kids on mission trips, so this is my turn to go with Izzy. She's serving in the nursery, otherwise she'd be up here, but she's 17. I'm not going to give my age, if that's okay. But for me, I've gotten to be the mom on other mission trips, not here, but with our previous churches, and it's just a gift to bond with those kids and to see their worldview widen, and to see that not only in their own communities there's needs, but there's needs in all parts of the world, and to see their hearts just open more to those needs.
I'm Greg Collins, and I'm not going to give my age either, but I will be one of the, certainly the senior in the crowd. I've never been on a mission trip before, but since being back here and serving on the Wednesday meal ministry, my eyes have really been open on how much you get out of providing service. It's so much more than just giving contributions to these worthy organizations, and so I decided last year that it was going to be time this year for me to really get directly involved.
Awesome. We also have 6 other people that are going on the mission trip this year who couldn't be here during this service. So some of them will be here for second service. Some of them had other conflicts this morning, so they aren't here. But yeah, we're super excited for the impact that we will be able to have in Maui, and also the impact that will happen in each of our lives as well. Yeah, you guys can go sit down. You don't have to be standing up.
I got 2 more paragraphs, guys. I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, to close us out today, thank you everybody that shared. I'm very excited to be going on this trip. I know, it's a shock. I know. To close us out today, ultimately, God calls us to love each other as He has loved us. We say our church's vision statement every single Sunday, but I don't know if we actually understand what it's being said. We say our church's vision statement, which is to go out and love one another and go out and make disciples. In the same way, let your light shine before others so that way they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven, which I summarize from Matthew 5:16. Thank you for letting me speak to you all today. We will all be here after the service out there. We do want to talk to you, so please come up to us, ask us, really, why are you going? And to be like, so I knew that you went to Alaska. Can you tell me more about that? We are here to talk to you about it. We're here to ask questions. If we don't know the answer, we'll go ask Allie, and we'll make sure you get an answer, because that is what we want to do. So thank you all for letting me speak to you today.